Howdy folks, your Princess Caretaker Ayana here. Quick bit of housekeeping up front. I am trying a slightly different sound setup for my videos. Please do let me know in the comments if it sounds better or worse. Now, I have a confession to share with all of you. I really enjoy the Call of Duty campaigns. Now, let's be clear here. I recognise and accept the fact that the message of West is good, East is bad, and the 9/11 revenge simulator feel these games have had for years is an issue. But I'm a military brat, and I was raised on the glorious action movies of the 80s, and these scratch exactly the same itch. They're big, they're dumb, they're so predictable you could practically order them by weight, and I just can't get enough of them. And so this week, jump in and join me, we will take a look at Call of Duty Cold War's campaign mode. So first off, a little weird technical story. I'm playing the game on PC and I'm using an NVIDIA graphics card that is entirely RTX capable, a 270 Super if it means anything to you. So I was a little bit miffed up front when NVIDIA's GeForce Experience app recommended I not use RTX at all for performance reasons. What's even more curious is looking back at it now, 3 days after the fact, the app does recommend I turn on RTX, which was a great thing to find out after I'd recorded all of the footage for this video. Looking back, I actually wish I'd taken a screenshot of it to show you, but you're going to have to take my word for it. There was technical weirdness afoot. Story of PC gaming in general, really. Regardless, sorry for the lack of RTX on the footage, everything else is cranked. Onto the campaign itself. So the initial mission actually makes a really good first impression, and the reason you're looking at me in the tiny video screen here rather than full screen is because this is all of the footage you saw in every single one of the promo videos. We chase a dude, we then chase a plane, the plane explodes. That said, it's a pretty high-pulse, great first mission, although they do lean on my least favourite Call of Duty trope. This is where AI characters are telling you that you need to run fast to catch something or someone or they're gonna get away, and then any attempt to run or move forward at anything other than the normal pace leads to you being given a lead enema. Anyway, after that we get an awesome cutscene with a very good looking and very well acted Ronald Reagan, and I am totally feeling the 80s spy movie vibe here. I am very much all in on the story at this point as well. This is absolutely what I'm here for. I am telling you all this for a reason though, because the next mission is in Vietnam. So I've been back and forth on putting this in the video all week, but Vietnam isn't really what I was feeling when it came to the Cold War vibe from this game. Yep, okay, Vietnam is technically part of the Cold War, but it doesn't really fit the 80s spy aesthetic that entire first mission spent its time building. Also feels like kind of a waste just to throw into something else. But future Ayana, did we have a Call of Duty Vietnam game? You know what, I am thinking of the Battlefield one. Okay, isn't that a thing we could do? It feels like a waste to just throw Vietnam in the middle of this spy thriller. There's nothing wrong with the mission itself, it's got some decent gunfights, you get to fly around in a helicopter, although just once it'd be nice to fly around in a helicopter in Call of Duty and not have it get shot down. Still, it's just thematically really jarring. It'd be like if Ed Sheeran randomly showed up as an extra in Game of Thrones, and you know what's awesome about this, folks? I don't even watch Game of Thrones and I know how many of you I just triggered. Sorry, not sorry. So I'm not going to review each level in turn here, folks, largely because I played through the campaign twice and I'm not sure I can remember them all. Some of them are just a bit unmemorable, which sort of sums up this campaign as a whole, really. There's a reason you kept seeing that plane blow up in the promo videos. It's kind of the only spectacle the game really has. It's a shame too, because while I know this is a little bit apples and oranges, especially with it being a different team, the Modern Warfare reboot from last year gave us an interesting story and interesting set pieces that went around it. Now I know I can hear some of you already thinking Indie Lover is calling the Call of Duty story boring, probably needs to go cry more at Spiritfarer, but no, some of the Call of Duty stories have been genuinely great. It's just that the set pieces here never really stick the landing, which is a shame because in terms of the story, it's pretty good, honestly. It's not as good as Modern Warfare's from last year, but I do think that was like the pinnacle of where Call of Duty has gone so far, so that was a lot to live up to. It does feel a little bit like it took spy tropes, put them all in a hat and just picked one out. I didn't 100% know which twist we were going to go with, but the moment it started, my feeling was, oh, we went with this one, as opposed to being surprised in any way, so yeah. What's worse, the level that contains the twist is another Vietnam level, which for reasons that are spoily, we play through 3 times in a row with very minor changes. If they wanted to make Call of Duty Vietnam, I would actually totally play that. That theatre would really suit the series. I know I keep saying this, but it would. I don't know why it's in a Cold War game. Also, future Ayana, move the spoiler alert to Amber. Game developers, word in your ear. Going through a door or back through a door that doesn't lead to the same place it did originally has been done. PT nailed it, hell, Eternal Darkness nailed it back on the GameCube. We don't need to see that trope anymore. Move on. Find something else. That said, I feel I'm coming off more negative here than I intend to. Let's take a look at the absolute pinnacle of the game, the KGB level. So here, you're playing a Russian double agent in the KGB, which is not a spoiler in the slightest because we're playing a game about Cold War espionage. You are trying to set someone else up to look like they've been making the phone calls to the enemy that you've been making. And it's kind of everything I love about Cold War spy stories. I'm picking locks, I'm hiding guards' bodies, I'm hacking computers. All you need's a cocktail and a highly inappropriate attitude to women and you could be the Russian James Bond. Great stuff. Now I do have to be honest, it doesn't feel very Call of Duty, but in terms of pure gameplay, I love it, and I've actually replayed it a couple of times to try the different routes. I do think we've hit the nail on the head when it comes to the issue here though. Black Ops, as opposed to Modern Warfare, has always been slightly smaller in scale, but because of the Cold War espionage setting here, that small scale is omnipresent, and the game is never quite sure how to handle it. As such, the best mission, while fantastic, just doesn't feel like it's very Call of Duty. What's more, the game's attempts at being big on that smaller scale just generally don't land. Ultimately, there's nothing bad about what's on offer here. I had an okay time. There's just nothing that's really that good about it either. The potential's there, but the game either needed to lean into that low-scale espionage with shootouts when everything hits the fan, or do larger-scale set pieces. It tries to do both, and while they're competent, they just sort of get in each other's way. So would I recommend Call of Duty's campaign? Well, surprisingly, sort of. I do have a soft spot for these as I say, and this is one of the weaker ones. I would not recommend buying this particular game for the campaign, which is something I've done with Call of Duty titles before. If you are playing the multiplayer aspects though, and you bought the game for those, give the campaign a run through. You'll be entertained for the 6 or 7 hours it will take you, and then you'll kind of just forget about it and go back to the multiplayer. Speaking of the multiplayer, I am so excited. Next week we are going to take a look at a multiplayer aspect I have wanted to get into for a very long time and never quite gotten around to. We are going to take a look at Call of Duty's cooperative zombies mode. I will see you then folks. Until then, peace. I'm out.